Welcome back to the series Windsor Crystal, our process collections. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about internal laser. Now certainly internal laser is not a process that is new. It's been around for quite a period of years. In fact, it dates back into the late 1970s with some research being done in East Berlin at the University of East Berlin. And it really has its roots, and many people don't know this, in the Star Wars Defense Initiative, where we were looking at shooting lasers into space, and the Soviet bloc was using optical crystal to mimic the components of space and shooting things into the atmosphere. So almost by accident they learned that you could shoot a beam of laser to a fixed point and cause it to stop. When it stopped, it made a mark, or what we call a point cloud or a check. And it is those series of point clouds that make up the designs internally being lasered. Now subsequently they also used internal lasers for a process called nucleation, which is a process whereby you laser the bottom of usually a beer pilsner, and as the beer flows over, it releases carbonated bubbles and helps to keep a larger head on the beer. But that's a byproduct of the technology. So here we see our standard optical crystal cube, and here it is with a 3D laser of an individual's face. Now, when we do faces, one of the things we do is a 270-degree view. We don't do the back of a person's head for the fact that if you do the back as a full 360, it does take away from the look of the face, because now you're looking through the back of someone's head, and it does obstruct the way light flows. So if we do a face, if we do a human face, we're going to only do about a 270-degree view. But as you can see here, this is somewhat simplified. There's not a tremendous amount of detail here, even though you see a great look at the face, but the amount of detail is determined by what we call point clouds. So the greater the number of point clouds, the higher the detail. And on some subsequent slides, you're going to see a little bit of detail. So we've got our internal laser, and now we finish it off being able to deep etch the front face of the piece. So again, internal laser, we add our deep etch. Any of the other processes we do, you can also add. So you could put a custom glow here on the cut face, and be able to bring color up through the internal laser design. You could color fill the etching. So that is one of the things that is unique, and as we go through our process series, you not only see a process, but you understand that you can combine many processes at Glass America and the Windsor Collection, on our optical crystal, on our jade crystals. You can combine 2, 3, and 4 processes in the same piece to where you're truly creating a unique work of art, more than just an award, literally a work of art, by using our processes. So again, here's another piece, a large block of crystal, standard item in our industry. Now this is a 3D. This is truly a three-dimensional laser. And by that I mean, if you were to walk around this piece, you would see the back of the building, the front of the building as it's depicted here, and the sides of the building. Now, in order to do this, what we require are images, photographic images taken all the way around the building. And we'll use some CAD technology to be able to put those photographs together and then translate to the laser a complete rendering showing things all the way around the building. So again, you have a 2D art and a 3D art. Your logos are going to be 2D. Think about it. What's the back of a logo look like? So it's only going to be done in a two-dimensional format. Buildings, bodies in motion, animals, vehicles, all of those things are going to be done three-dimensional. They don't have to be. It's important to know you can still do a 2D, but you lose the impact. If you want to take an image of a car, you want to be able to see the right side and the left side of the car. So remember, we need from you photographs, pictures, images going all the way around the structure, the building, the car, whatever it is, so that we can be able to see the front, the back, the sides, the top. And again here, we're going to finish it off with our deep etch process on the outside. So again, we combine the deep etch technology with the internal laser. We have just about every item in our catalog that can be lasered is priced as an internal laser design. So you have prices for standard deep etch. You also have the price for that item if you wanted to internally laser it. The only thing that I can say about price is we price a common price point. We are able to discount our price if an item has less point cloud or less detail. So again, the cost of running this laser is more the time associated with it. So the more point clouds, or checks if you will, and that gives you a greater, denser, more defined image. So the more point clouds, the more checks, the longer the laser runs, the higher the price for the unit is. So again, you can skew the way you present something to a client simply by skewing the amount of detail you want to show in that with the internal laser process. And lastly, here's another design. Now this shows our capability to use an LED lighted base. What we like about these bases is we've been able to design away the standard power pack. It used to be that every time you sold one of these, you had the power pack and the transformer, and it was extremely clunky, and it took up way too much space on the desk to just be able to light up a base. This is done with an internal battery pack. So here we have our domey paperweight. Now there is a complete three-dimensional design. This is a client's logo, a lighthouse, and this is done in a 360-degree three-dimensional view. So you can walk around this piece. You see the front of the lighthouse, the back of the lighthouse, the sides, and here again we finish it off with the Deep Etch logo, in this case celebrating the client's 140th year in business. So the internal laser process, certainly not new, been around, as I say, since the 70s, in this industry since the mid-80s. And it's one of these things we'll call an oldie but a goodie. It's still very, very, very popular. I know you see this work all over the place. You can find it in convenience stores, key fobs. The price points are a little lower there. But again, when you look at the quality and the detail, that's also a lot lower. So again, as you work with your clients on this, you can meet just about any budget depending on the level of detail that they want to put into the item. So simply don't look at an item and say, oh, that's price X. There's always a way to work around that in terms of the amount of detail that you want to put in. So good luck, happy selling, and here is another process from the Windsor Crystal Collection for you to put in your sales bag.